Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scott from Planet X News. It is November 9th, 2018, just a little after 8 a.m. in the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure maybe by now you've heard that there has been a very large earthquake off of the coast of the small little island country, Iceland. Magnitude 6.8. No tsunami warnings have been issued at this current time. And folks, I wanted to go over some information with you pertaining to this earthquake. We've been seeing quite a few of these larger magnitude 6, 6.5, 6.8 earthquakes over the last several weeks. If you give me just 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And we are going to move right over here. And we're going to take a look at the live earthquake map. And as you can see, well, let's move up here, and we can see this magnitude 6.8 earthquake. And it was very, very shallow, only a depth of 10 kilometers. And this information came directly out of the USGS feed. So, luckily, there was no damage to the small island country of Iceland. Now, they do have several large volcanoes on the island, and that was something that I was concerned of whenever seeing this type of earthquake near Iceland, possibly setting off an eruption. Many years ago, there was a very large volcanic eruption on the island, and this disrupted air travel for quite some time because of the volcanic ash that entered the upper atmosphere. Now, folks, just take a look at the state of California. Again, all of these earthquakes are traveling right along the San Andreas Fault. There's a lot of activity brewing once again in Alaska, Central America, South America, down here in the southern mid-Atlantic ridge. And a lot of these earthquakes, there were several earthquakes pelted right through this region right here. They are no longer on this updated list. But as you can see, there is quite a lot of activity, earthquake activity, even down here near Puerto Rico and in the Caribbean. Very rare earthquake up here in Canada. And once again, another earthquake here in Oklahoma, magnitude 2.4. As Dutch Synth says, these earthquakes located in this area, the majority of the time, they may be referenced to all of the fracking that they do in this area. This area of Oklahoma is just peppered with drilling sites. And I used to be in the fracking business here in Pennsylvania. I worked for Precision Drilling, and we never caused an earthquake, folks. And we drilled these boreholes very, very, very deep. However, geologically, there's quite a bit of a difference between the land here in Pennsylvania and the land there in Oklahoma. So this 2.4 there in Oklahoma, this is probably due to the fact of some type of drilling. What I wanted to get at, folks, and something that I want to show you, whenever we get to this situation here where the earth is literally just pelted with earthquakes, widespread all over the place, there is usually a correlation between what is happening on the sun and what is happening here on Earth. Now, I know a lot of you listen to Dutch Synths, and I listen to Dutch also. But one thing that Dutch does not take into consideration are the heavily charged particles that come from the sun. And back on November 4th, I warned everybody that we were currently under a pretty severe geomagnetic storm. And whenever we start to see these large coronal holes on the sun that are Earth facing, it is just a matter of time before those heavily charged particles streaming from these coronal holes make their way to the Earth. Now, under the current situation with the sun is literally going to sleep. We use the terminology, going dark, but in actuality, you know, the sun has lost so much of its corona since about 2012 and 2013. And I just did an informational video last week showing all of that. And maybe we'll bring that video up and I'll show you again because it is actual observational evidence. You can't deny it. But whenever we see these situations like this, with these earthquakes all over the place, and I'm not just talking about these little tiny earthquakes, 2, magnitude 3 and 4, but when you start getting to 5s and 6s, well, in areas, for instance, down here in Costa Rica, in Central America, their infrastructure is nowhere like ours here in the United States. Okay, they do have pretty shabby infrastructure. Their building codes are literally crap. Okay, so a 5.3 magnitude earthquake in Central America, yes, it can cause pretty severe damage, especially if it is shallow. But under the circumstances, we were under the effects of a geomagnetic storm back on November 4th. And I put information up on the Planet X News Facebook page, and we also did an article about it, and it was up on the Planet X News website. So listen, folks, if you really want the real deal information, follow the Planet X News Facebook page and bookmark my website and Dr. Albers' website. Those website links are in the description box under all of our videos. A lot of you want to be truthers. You want to get the information out there to everyone. You want these people to open their eyes. You want to awaken them. Well, you guys have to share the information. You have to share the links, share the videos, and maybe leave your own little explanation. Write something on that post on Facebook or Twitter, and maybe even share it with a few friends that are starting to open up their eyes. So there's one thing that I want to go ahead and I want to show you guys. I'm going to flip over to this screen here real quick. And give me 1 second here. I'm going to open up the live chat here so I could see everybody. And I know it's very early in the morning, but listen, folks, as of lately, I've been starting my day between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. every single morning because there is so much going on, even in the political world. It's just absolutely insane what our what our world has become. And let me go ahead and just set up that live chat there so I could see everybody. But, a lot of my time has been taken up by a new endeavor that I've taken on. And, that is getting involved with the March for America, or MFA media group. And it is a real deal multimedia news and media website. And we're still working on some of the things on the website, and I'll share that information with you guys later on. But what we're looking at right here, we're looking at the radiation belt of electrons at 50 Kelvin. Okay, folks, that is really, really hot. Okay, all of this information is up to date. Now, on the left side of your screen, you're seeing that model. Okay, normally you would not see all of this bright this bright pink and this red surrounding the Earth. And for all of you that are kind of new to this type of a model, what you're seeing here is the bow shock, this arch in front of the Earth, and this is the daytime side and the nighttime side over here. The dotted line is the satellite belt. Just take a look at the amount of radiation. Let's just say, for layman's terms, the amount of heat, the amount of radiation that is coming into and enveloping the entire Earth. Now, normally, when we see these conditions, guaranteed it's due to the fact that we have a large coronal hole that is Earth facing, and that stream of heavily charged particles is impacting our magnetosphere. And now, since we are moving into, if we're not into it already, I believe that we are already into this so-called solar minimum. But if you just take a look at the right side of your screen, and you're looking at the current SDO Solar Dynamics Observatory 48-hour loop, okay, where is the corona of the sun? It is barely there. So when Dr. Albers and I refer to the sun going dark, the sun losing its energy, this is what we're referring to. And this has been happening to the sun well before this solar minimum even started to occur. Scientists say that this grand solar minimum can stay in effect for up to 11 years. So normally we see very, very low activity on the sun in the sense of coronal mass ejections. But that has nothing to do with these massive coronal holes that are opening up on the sun. I've been discussing this now since 2016, and I've been showing everyone how this affects the Earth. Now, some people will debate me up and down till they're blue in the face that these heavily charged particles have nothing to do with earthquakes. Folks, that is clearly disinformation. That is a damn lie. Okay, on the right side of your screen, you see this huge black region on the sun. You literally see it kind of popping and crackling right in front of you. And you see that huge black region. Well, in layman's terms, let me put it to you like this. That black region, that's kind of like the surface of the sun. And the purple region that you see over there on the left and the right, let's just say that would be like cloud cover here on Earth. So whenever that cloud cover moves away, all of these heavily charged particles, all of that energy is now able to escape from the sun, travel 93 million miles, and impact Earth. Now, those heavily charged particles have the ability to go through anything. They penetrate all the way down to the core of our planet. Now, that doesn't happen instantaneously, okay? It does take a couple of days. And once that starts to charge the core of the Earth, you will start to have increased pressure at the Earth's core. So let's just think of it this way. If you have increased internal heat and pressure inside of a sphere, what's going to happen to the brittle surface of that sphere? It's going to start to crack. Our tectonic plates are going to start to move. Therefore, we have these earthquakes. We have bigger earthquakes. Well, folks, you can just simply take a look at that massive coronal hole staring you right in the face. The view that you have now on the purple sphere to your right, That is the sun. That is your view from the Solar Dynamics Observatory spacecraft looking directly at the sun. So there's no doubt that looking to the left of your screen and looking at the radiation belt model, you can see that the Earth is completely enveloped in this higher heat or higher radiation. This is 44.7 Kelvin. I mean, we're talking seriously intense. Now, going back to the 4th of November, again, I issued a warning on our Planet X News Facebook page and also on my public figure page. And we saw the K model go sky high. Well, that's pretty well normal. But then again, remember what I'm saying. It takes a couple of days for these particles to literally penetrate all the way through the Earth's crust, through the mantle, and down to the core. Once that starts to occur, it's literally like taking a balloon, coating it with liquid wax, letting it dry and harden, and then inflating the balloon. You're going to start to cause fractures and cracks in that wax. Well, that's about the best analogy that I can give all of you. And this is why the earthquake situation on our planet is very severe, and it is going to stay this way throughout the rest of all of your lifetimes. Okay, that is not going to change. You know, folks, we have some very serious issues out there in space around our sun. Yes, it all has to do with these stellar objects that are now part of our solar system. You know, mainstream science is not going to come out there and say, or even show you or tell you that, you know, we have some new objects now that are part of our solar system. And you know, this crazy guy named Scott Sion and this crazy mad scientist named Dr. Claudia Albers are just you know, they're telling you a fairy tale. Although over the period of the last 3 years, I have showed all of you hardcore evidence that these objects are here. They're here to stay. I don't think that we will see any of these objects leave the sun in our lifetime. There's a lot of other YouTube channels that are popping up left and right, and you know, they want to talk about Nibiru and they want to talk about Planet X, and a lot of them try to copy my channel and things of that nature, and you know, whatever. But you folks have to really understand they really don't know what they're talking about when it comes to the hardcore science, the actual truth. Now, I can sit here and I can make 5 or 6 flamboyant videos a day to pump up my YouTube views, but that's not what Planet X News is all about. When I have solid, hardcore evidence, I will get it out there to you. And today, this is more solid, hardcore evidence that the disruptions on the sun have everything to do with what is happening to our planet. Okay? I know it may be hard for some troll babies and maybe even hard for some of you to understand or even accept that there are now other planetary bodies or stellar objects in our solar system. You know, folks, our solar system is very small compared to what is actually out there. And since 2016, more information is being, you know, put out there for the world population. And since 2016, astronomers and scientists have revealed that they have found more than 2,600 solar systems. And when we use the word solar system, we're referring to planetary objects orbiting around a host star or stars, as in plural, binary, or even trinary star systems. Okay, NASA just came out with this big unveiled project of this TRAPPIST formation in 2017, and they keep talking about it. But the bottom line is, we now have other objects in our solar system. You know, folks, as our solar system travels through our galaxy, we just don't stay in one place. Everything in space is pretty much in constant motion. So, who is to say that through all of these hundreds of millions of years, that what? We're never going to come in contact or cross paths with something else that's out there? If you think that way, then, you're thinking with a very closed mind. I believe that mainstream science thinks that we won't be able to accept the fact that we now have these other visitors in our solar system that have decided to make our solar system its home, and not by free will. And what I mean by that is, I believe the sun has literally captured these objects, similar to the revelations that have been occurring with the planet Jupiter. I mean, look, Jupiter's gone from 50 to 60 to close to 70 moons. Where are these objects coming from? They're not newly found, meaning they just didn't, find them. No, Jupiter is capturing them because Jupiter does have a very, very strong magnetic field. It does have the ability to capture objects. Where are they coming from? Could they be part of the Planet X system? Dr. Albers and I have been theorizing for quite some time that there's a high possibility that our solar system is literally moving through the Planet X system. And these smaller objects, even though they are much, much larger than Earth and probably much larger than Jupiter, our sun has captured some of them. I've been theorizing and showing people for quite some time that there is definitely one of these larger stellar cores. I would say it's probably 5 to 7 times the size of Jupiter, but it does orbit the sun. It orbits the sun in about a 28-day cycle, or a 28-day orbit, and that's extremely fast. Now, an object that is moving at that speed, and that object also has a very, very strong magnetic field, what do you think it is going to do to the Earth? It is going to cause major disturbances within our magnetosphere. There is no doubt about it. It is also going to create major problems with its host star, which is now our sun. And people say, oh, well, why can't I see it with my backyard telescope? Well, listen, folks, I don't know anybody's backyard telescope that can see clearly 93 million miles away. Yeah, you got these people that show you YouTube videos of the sun through pretty big telescopes, but they're using an H alpha filter on their telescope. So that's going to block everything out and just show you either this orange ball or this pink ball. You're not going to see anything else around it. Okay? So, mainstream astronomy, they're just not going to unveil this information. Some of them, some of them may be under those threats of, hey, listen, don't open up your mouth, similar to the alien technology that some countries have on this planet. The U.S. guaranteed has, alien technology. There's no doubt about it. But what we're looking at here is cold, hard facts. These massive coronal holes have been Earth facing now, and I've been following this for the last 3 years closely. Every single day of my life has been consumed at examining what is happening with the sun, folks, because without the sun, we're screwed. I mean, literally, we're screwed. Now, you hear Dr. Albers and I and many others talk about a sun simulator, and then people ask pretty dumb questions. Oh, what are you saying? We don't have a sun? Where's the sun? Oh my God. No, folks, we're not saying that the sun disappeared. The sun has lost so much of its energy that there's a high possibility that that loss in energy would not be able to warm this planet. If that were the case, we would all be dead by now. You wouldn't be listening to me babble here to you. The sun is still there. That star is still there. But look at its energy output. It has diminished. We refer to it as, the sun is dying, and, and several other terminologies that maybe we shouldn't use. The sun going dark and blah, blah, blah. Do you think that the sun has lost all of this energy? Do you think that it would be able to project its light, its normal light, all the way to the Earth, 93 million miles? So let's talk about it in this way. Let me give you another analogy. Now, you've all had flashlights before, the old-fashioned kind before they came out with the LED lights, and the battery starts to go dead. What happens to that little bulb? It starts to get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, and then boom, the battery dies. So let's be rational about this. Let's say, for instance, that over the course of the last 5 years, the world governments have known that this was happening. And they thought, oh, my. We better not let the world population see that there is diminished light shining upon the earth. Religious people around the world would go absolutely nuts. Well, I think people around the world in general would go absolutely crazy. So for all of you that kind of knock the idea that it is impossible to have a sun simulation device or devices way up in the upper atmosphere, maybe even pretty close to where the space station orbits, about 250 to 300 miles up, you don't think that technology could not illuminate the earth? Folks, they don't have to illuminate the entire globe, because the earth does what? It rotates. So if China is developing the technology to put an artificial moon up above their country for nighttime illumination, what makes you think that 5 years ago the U.S. government and other world governments, because they probably worked on this together, but what makes you think that they didn't have the technology to do this? What about all of the space shuttle launches throughout the 1980s and early 90s. What do you think they were actually doing up there using the Russian space shuttle and the US space shuttle? It had huge cargo bays. What, do you think that astronauts can't build things in space? They built the space station. So, what makes you think that they couldn't build a sun simulator? So, folks, you really need to open up your mind, and for all of the little nut job troll babies out there that want to debate this, you're really fooling yourself. You're a real idiot and closed-minded individual if you don't think that something like this is actually possible, because little by little the information's leaking out. A moon? An artificial moon? Oh my God. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but China is doing it. That artificial moon is going to illuminate China in 2020, in just a little more than a year from now. So again, what makes you think that there is no type of artificial light up above our upper atmosphere? Folks, you all send me your photographs. I read your emails. I read the comments. I see the pictures. Okay? When in your lifetime have you ever looked up in the sky and the sun just looks like a white flashlight bulb? Case in point, just recent photographs that I took. Just absolutely insane. Now, the other day, when I set my video camera up and I wanted to get some ultra high definition video of this sun simulator, I ended up capturing these little UFO objects zipping across the sky all over the place at like 40,000 miles an hour. Using this ultra high definition camera at 60 frames per second, I was able to capture them, and I still have more of that video to go through and edit to show all of you. But when I'm looking at the sun and looking at these videos, it just doesn't look normal. Now, that day that I was recording that footage, I was standing outside in my driveway, and it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it was a very, very cold day. We're already getting into the late fall season here in the Pittsburgh area. And I think the temperature was like no more than like 40 degrees. But as I was standing there and staring up, I had the camera on a tripod. I was looking upward through my polarized glasses, and it was burning my face. It was burning my skin. It just felt like a magnifying glass, like when you were a kid, playing with a magnifying glass and, catching leaves on fire or a piece of paper, or, like me and my cousin used to do. We used to burn the little ants, with the magnifying glass and the power of the original sun. But now, folks, I just don't know. You look up into that sky and you see complete nonsense. Let me get a sip of my coffee here. Bear with me. So, folks, this is the current condition that we are in. And as you can see over this time frame, the Earth was being pelted, and it still is. Now, a lot of you have been sending me emails pertaining to the health effects. Well, listen, folks, I try to limit my time outside. I used to be a sun worshiper. I spent 22 years of my life in Miami, Florida. I lived there from 1986 to 2005. and I was a sun worshiper. But things are totally different now. From what I see, you wouldn't catch me laying out in the sun. You would not catch me exposing my entire body for, you know, more than 30 minutes, if that. No matter what time of day it is, if I go outside, I throw on a baseball cap. Throughout the summer, I've been wearing like thin, long sleeve shirts. I don't want any more sunburn, especially from something that's magnifying the sun, the energy that is coming from our real sun. So what you're seeing on the left side of your screen, that's all coming from these large coronal hole openings, Earth facing. And it is literally enveloping our planet. And it's not good for your health. It is not good for children. Folks, keep your kids out of the sun. Sunblock, it's not going to help your kids. Sunblock, it's not going to help you. You need to limit your exposure to the sun. If you're somebody who works outside for a living, then you need to start to protect yourself with clothing, long sleeves, a hat. There is a guy right now that I've been talking to that he's actually working on and developing a hat with this interior liner inside of it, and it's helped to it will help to protect your head from this type of solar energy. I'll gather more information on it and see if I can't get him to maybe come on board and do a live stream with us. But what you're seeing here on your screen now, this is what's been happening for many, many years. I started to detect all of this back in 2016, and I kept reporting on it and reporting on it and reporting on it. And maybe some people get bored with it. But folks, in all actuality, it's a very dangerous situation, especially if you live in a region on this planet that is susceptible to tectonic plate movements or seismic activities, earthquakes, volcanoes, things of that nature. So, now that we've discussed all of this, I want to discuss one more thing with all of you. Let's get rid of this. Okay, each and every month, I see some of these other scammy channels. I'm not gonna, mention them. So let me move this over here so we could. You're gonna see this object pass by. It's not Planet X. It's not a rogue planet. It's not Nibiru. Folks, it's just simply the moon. Okay. I saw a video pop up in my feed the other day from one of these stupid nonsense channels. And they do it every single month. They claim that it's Nibiru, it's Planet X, and oh God, we're all going to die and blah, blah, blah. It's all clickbait. It's all garbage. These people are not real researchers. You're looking at grown-ass men who, live in the garage at their mom's house, and they're trying to make a few bucks on YouTube by deceiving all of you. And if any of you follow these individuals, well, you're not doing yourself any justice. You're not learning anything. You're not learning anything at all. So if you're watching my videos and you're watching Dr. Albers' videos, then I assume that you want to learn something. You want to learn about what's happening. You don't want to pay attention to people who are charlatans that are really going to pass off something to you that's really not true. In other words, They're just lying to you. Plain and simple. So each and every month, we will see the moon zip by. And remember, this 48-hour loop, this is going by pretty quick. It's not in real time, because if it was in real time, then we would be sitting here for 2 days watching the gentle rotation of the sun. But when you see these objects passing like that in front of the sun, it's nothing more than the moon. That's all that it is. It's just the moon. And do yourselves a favor. When you see these idiots out there on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, and you see them portraying this as Nibiru and Planet X and some Death Star, leave a comment and let them know that they are wrong, they are lying, and they're deceiving everybody. And knock it off. Because what they do for the people that actually want to learn, well, you're deceiving those people. Case closed. So we're going to go ahead and jump out of here and just check this earthquake map to see if anything else is happening. Any more earthquakes popping off? Because I know earlier, boy, it was really, really going to town. It's a pretty big earthquake, magnitude 6.8. Nothing to sneeze at. Pretty bad earthquake. Now, I know a lot of you folks go and you all have started watching the stereo. Let me just increase this a little bit so we can see it a little better. Okay, let me give you some tips on the Core 2. Now, I have this set for the day that this geomagnetic storm was about to occur. So we're looking at November 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and all the way up to today. Now, whenever you see the Core 2, whenever you see this static start to appear on your screen, just like you did there, right now we're looking at the beginning phases of the detectors on this spacecraft are starting to be affected by these heavily charged particles. And therefore, you're now starting to see this interference with the spacecraft and its detectors. So you see what I'm saying, folks? Everything adds up. The amount of radiation coming in, the coronal holes facing the Earth, the induction of the seismic activity, more heavy earthquakes. So it all adds up. I'm not just making this up. I'm showing you that this is clearly what is happening. This will now be part of your life. If you live in these areas where you do have earthquakes, this is not going to go away. This is going to become part of your life. So for all of you that do try to analyze the stereo ahead Core 2 model and this coronagraph, when you start to see that interference and you start to see the occulter right here, you see how it's shaking? There's a very high possibility that the spacecraft itself is being buffered, okay, because this black occulter in the middle, well, this is internal. That is an internal part of the spacecraft. That is there for the camera, and that blocks out the rays of the sun, so we're able to see this outer activity, such as jets coming out from the side of the sun, coronal mass ejections, things of that nature. Now, I know a lot of you probably saw some things zipping by there, and there are channels that portray those as, oh my God, look at that. That was, Planet X, or that was Nibiru that just whipped by there. No, folks, it's nothing like that. You just saw one zip by. And I could slow this down a little bit And we could use the step feature. Let me reverse it and see if we can get to one of these little cosmic rays. Let me see if I could get to that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and let it play, and then I'll see if I could catch it. But so many people put this information up on a YouTube video, and they claim that, it was Planet X flying by, or it was Nibiru flying by, when in fact, folks, it's nothing like that. And for people that don't know any better, well, they'll tend to believe all of that. And they're not doing you any justice. So, if you are following some of these other YouTube channels, I mean, the only person that you're hurting yourself, because you're clouding your mind with, other nonsense. And these people don't know any better. They don't come from hardcore science backgrounds like Dr. Albers and myself. And I've been studying Earth space science. My God, I loved it when I was in ninth grade, and I never let off. Even though in 4 years of college, I never studied this type of science, but I kept on and on and on and educating myself and learning and learning and learning. So, I graduated from college in 1991. It's now 2018. Not calling myself, some kind of heliospheric professional, but I know what I'm looking at. So I just saw, there it is. I just saw this little object whipping by. Okay, folks. So you'll have a YouTube channel come out there, and they'll say, "Oh God, look at that. I just caught Nibiru whipping by the sun." No, you didn't catch anything like that going by the sun. Now, the people at NASA and the people that run the stereo website, you can email them right here, right there. Okay. And you can ask them, "Hey, I captured this on stereo. Can you tell me what that is?" And they'll tell you, "This lady, Teresa, she's gotten back to me a few times. I've actually learned a little bit from her." And these are kind of like artifacts, anomalies. They're not Planet X. They're not Nibiru. They're not a stellar core. They're nothing like that. And I've seen many, many YouTube channels put this up there right in your face and blatantly lie to you with ignorance. When I use the word ignorance, I mean ignorant to the fact that they don't truly have the intelligence to tell you what that really is. Okay? It's not Planet X. It's not the mythical planet Nibiru. It's nothing more than an artifact. That's it, moving at a very high speed. Stereo will classify it as cosmic rays. That's how they'll classify it. Now, we've seen some very, very odd things on the Core 2 coronagraph that are massive spherical objects. Okay. And they are clear as a bell. And over the last several years, I have shown all of you the captures that I've made. And those are definitely not artifacts. Okay. Those are definitely spherical bodies, large ones. And I don't want to sit here and go through an entire picture show with all of you guys, but there is a huge difference. So don't be conned by all the con men. And there's quite a few of them out there. And some of them are bigger channels, and they really don't care what they show you. And they can literally just make it all up when they're showing you photographs and pictures, and they're showing you these coronagraphs. Whatever they want to make up and tell you, they want you to believe. Okay, that's not awakening. That's not waking somebody up. That's just a con man wanting YouTube views to pay his bills. Okay. I don't rely on YouTube to pay my bills. My God, YouTube doesn't pay me hardly squat. Couple $100. That's it. I just sent a very nasty letter to YouTube a few days ago. I mean, I wrote it out and I emailed that letter directly to their support, and they actually did get back to me. And I was complaining once again about them censoring my channel because over the course of 2018, we've put on over 25,000 new subscribers. But where are they? They just seem to subscribe and disappear. I mean, it's clearly visible in the YouTube views here on Planet X News. And if you look up and see the actual views of this channel, we're, catching up to 20 million views. And I started putting this information out there in July of 2016. So they have their ways with their algorithms of keeping us down. I really don't care about that because for all of you that actually do watch Dr. Albers and you watch Planet X News, see, it's up to you guys to get this information out there. Share it. Share it as much as you possibly can, because then you create that domino effect. I create a video and I automatically embed it into a news article on my website. And when I embed that YouTube video into my website article, it calculates the amount of views on that embedded YouTube URL. So how is it that I get 150,000 views on that video on my website, which is a YouTube URL embedded link, and on my YouTube channel, only 3,000 people saw it? So twice a year, I bludgeoned YouTube complaining about this, and they simply tell me, oh, people are probably losing interest in your content. Then I get all hot and bothered, man. I get real pissed off and crazy. And, the last letter that they sent me back was just the other day. And this guy, Emmanuel, very, very nice guy. He's gotten back to me many, many times. He writes me a long email back. He tells me that everything's perfectly fine with my YouTube channel and blah, 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 blah. And he said, oh, well, look, I looked at this one video of yours here on YouTube and you have almost 900,000 views. Why don't you do more videos like this? Well, he's like, use keywords like you did in this video, like doomsday. Oh my God. So this is a guy that works for YouTube that's telling me to use clickbait words in my YouTube video titles like doomsday. And then whenever you use those words like apocalyptic and, mass destruction and doomsday, they flag your videos. So he gave me pretty shitty advice. And I did go ahead and I did put up a video that I did last year, and it was pertaining to the bunkers, and the word doomsday is in there, and it talked about the Edgar Cayce maps and blah, blah, blah. It was an older video that I did, and I just re-edited it and I put it back out there. And sure enough, the guy was right. Now, I'll tell you what, let's take a real quick look over here because, these people at YouTube, boy, they're really something else. Here's the video right here. The Shocking Doomsday Maps of the World and the Billionaire Escape Plan. One day ago, 24 hours ago, 9,815 views. Yeah. So what does YouTube want me to do? Put the word doomsday and apocalypse in every one of my videos just to get more people to come to my channel and watch this information, when clearly we have over 76,000 subscribers. 25,000 of these people are brand new. We put on, just this week alone, we put on 1,000 new subscribers. We're vastly closing in on 20 million views since I opened this channel up in July of 2016. Those are some pretty big accomplishments for me getting the word out there, but they're censoring the information. They don't really want this channel to grow because, in all honesty, folks, I should have millions of people. But do you understand how that would affect the entire world? Just this little YouTube channel called Planet X News, and this guy that lives in Pittsburgh, and he investigates this matter. He would turn the world upside down. Yeah. And there's a few other people out there, like Jeff P. You know, if they let my channel and Jeff's channel and a few others, if they just let us go wild and they didn't censor us or filter us, wow, things would be probably pretty crazy. You know, there'd probably be a lot of panicking people around the world that did not understand the pure science of what is actually happening. It is a very interesting time to live through. It's a little dangerous for some folks that live in some areas. But we're seeing drastic changes in our weather patterns, drastic changes in the ice melt in the North Pole, drastic changes in the jet stream, drastic changes in seismic activity and volcanic activity. It's all happening right in front of your eyes. And for all of you that have been following me for several years now, you know very well that I explained a lot of this in 2016 and 2017 and again in this year. And I laid it all out for you in a systematic plan. And these were the things that we were going to expect. They're actually happening a little faster than I thought. That worries me. But folks, there's nothing that we can do about it except understanding it. I think that makes it a little bit easier to swallow. When you understand something, that fear level goes down a little bit. You know, I mean, I don't live my life in complete fear that the world's going to end tomorrow. I worry about it. I want to live longer. There are things that I literally want to see before God takes me into another realm. But I don't walk around in fear. Don't fear knowledge. Embrace it. That's the best advice I can give all of you. And stick around and learn. Learn with me. Learn with Dr. Albers. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. I try to give each and every one of you the best damn observational evidence that I can find with my own eyes and my own brain. And there are several other people out there that are starting to, come up, and they're learning also. And I want to give a shout out to a new YouTube channel and a new gentleman who's been, He's been trying to learn and he's making good observations. The name of his channel is called Blue Kool-Aid. And matter of fact, let me get on over here real quick. I see one of the troll channels is already making a video pertaining to my live stream. It's that idiot Chris Twatter. He has a fake YouTube channel called Utopia. But here's Blue Kool-Aid's channel. And I might have to get with him and maybe change his change his channel name. But he's come a long way, and he's making some very, very, very good observations. And I'm going to be talking to him in the next couple of days, going to help him grow his channel and his following. And we're going to bring him on here and do a live stream with Dr. Albers and I, and myself, Dr. Albers, Jeff P., and Wayne Steiger. We're going to be doing a wild live stream Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be showing some incredible information. I will, Jeff P. will, and Wayne Steiger has been on to something with his compass, and it's really eye-opening and mind-blowing. So 9 o'clock on this upcoming Friday, we will hold this live stream, and it will be over on Wayne Steiger's channel. I'll post all the information on Planet X News, so you guys have links to that. But yeah, man, if you guys want to start listening to Blue Kool-Aid, I mean, this is a good channel to watch, because the man is actually trying to show you what he's uncovering. Okay, he doesn't lie to people, which is good. He doesn't try to fool you. He's showing you what he's coming up with. And he did a video the other day. This possible stellar core shows up near Earth. This is a very, very good observation that he did. And he's using the magnetopause model from ISWA. And you know, I'm actually still looking into this, and Dr. Albers is actually still looking into this. So as each and every one of you start to learn what you're actually looking at and what you're looking for, you can do all of us a favor, because if you happen to stumble onto something, then we all need to share that information. Okay, that's how we will be able to get past the censoring through social media, because we all have somewhat of different subscribers, and we could start to share each other's information. You know, I used to share information with other YouTube channels, and you know, they all end up double crossing me. They get jealous for some stupid reason. Listen, folks, this isn't about being some YouTube rock star. Okay, we are in a very critical situation here on our planet. You know, the elites and the globalists, I mean, they are really, really destroying this planet with everything that they are doing. All you have to do is watch the politics. It's nothing but a damn show, and it's all full of drama. Okay, they're all puppets. The civil unrest is absolutely insane in Europe and here in the United States. I warned people last year that this will start to occur. It has gone full steam ahead in the European countries, and it is now going full steam ahead here in the United States of America and in Canada. The only countries that you don't see this occurring is countries like Russia and China and the South American countries. That makes me wonder. That truly makes me wonder. I haven't put my foot down on what exactly they're up to, but they're up to something. No doubt about it. Something else I wanted to show you guys. If any of you are not following the Planet X News Facebook page, folks, the link is in the description box. Get over here, follow the page, because if you're not getting notifications by YouTube when we post videos, then you can get over here, follow Planet X News, and you will get the notification in your Facebook feed. And, you know, I am constantly putting tons of information up here on a daily basis. All of our articles from Planet X News website, all of them are up here. I try to put up at least 5, 10. The other day I did 13 articles, all very interesting, Not all of them are Planet X related. The majority of them are scientific articles, and they're pretty interesting. Same thing with Dr. Albers over here. We share some of the articles, but you know what they're finding out there in space and things that NASA is doing. And I told you guys, watch what NASA is doing. Always watch what they're doing. Even though you may not believe it, watch what they're doing. Okay. They just released some more information here on the NASA Parker Solar Space Probe heading out to the sun. Very interesting. It has made its first pass. That's how fast this probe's moving. And I can't wait till we start to get some information from this space probe. It might be some time, but when it comes in, I'm going to be very interested in seeing what they have to say. Something I want to show you guys. The other day on November 6th, I had the opportunity for someone to share with me what just happened in India. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the picture. Okay. This photograph that you're looking at right now, this man from India standing there, this had nothing to do with an earthquake. Look at the ground that this man is standing on. Look off to the left. What in the hell just happened? Okay. Here's another photograph that was taken. Look at the ground. Again, this had absolutely nothing to do with an earthquake. The ground just literally split apart. Here's one more picture of it. Look at that. Look at that. It is absolutely incredible the damage that was done. And again, this had nothing to do with seismic activity. This actually had every person in the villages in this surrounding area in India in complete panic. These people were scared for their lives. You didn't see that on Fox News, did you? You didn't see that on CNN, did you? You didn't see that on ABC, CBS, NBC, did you? I think something like this would have been an amazing news story. But we didn't see anything like that. I think something like this occurring in another country is worldly news. But you didn't see that, did you? Mainstream media should be reporting on all of these things because these are major earth changes that everyone should know about. And they held it all back. And this just occurred just a few days ago. right here on planet Earth in the country we call India. And folks, this is not just happening in India. This is happening around the world, whether you want to believe it or not. You know, I keep in touch with people all over the world, everywhere. They are telling me, they are showing me what is happening in their countries. Yeah, they're scared. They don't know what's happening. And if I were to stand on this ground like this man is here, and I was looking back at all of this destruction, and there was no earthquake, wow. For one thing, I wouldn't be standing where this guy is, but yeah, I'd be pretty damn concerned about that level of destruction on the upper crust of the earth that had nothing to do with an earthquake. Pretty amazing. Absolutely amazing. Real quick, folks, I want to go ahead and I want to show you guys what I was talking about um, with with the geomagnetic storm warning. Now, I made this real short video back on the 4th, and this was letting everybody know, and I didn't post it on YouTube, but I did post it on the Planet X News Facebook page. And I was showing that NOAA had issued the geomagnetic storm warning. And again, getting back to what we were originally talking about in the beginning, it normally takes a couple of days. Let me go ahead and put that into a loop. It normally takes a couple of days when we have these Earth-facing coronal holes. It usually takes a couple of days for those particles to literally penetrate down to the core. So it is the 9th. So we started into this G1 magnetic storm warning on the 4th. And it was pretty close to 2056 UTC time. And you could see right here on the planetary K index, you could see the red spike. That's a pretty good spike right there. But it took days for that energy to make its way to the Earth, penetrate down to the core. And we just looked at the earthquake map in the very beginning of this video, and you can see the worldwide spread of the seismic activity. And then what do you see? A very powerful magnitude 6.8 right off of the northern coast of Iceland. So once again, folks, you know, stay in tune with our websites. Stay in tune with Planet X News on Facebook, because I believe using the social media tool Facebook, even though, you know, I have my quarrels with them too, you know, at least the notifications pop up in your news feed. At least they don't play around with that. YouTube does. I still have so many people that come to me every single month. They say, "Oh, Scott, YouTube unsubscribed me from your YouTube channel. I'm not getting your notifications. Oh, I missed your live stream, blah, blah, blah." Listen, folks, I post everything on my public figure page, and I post everything on my personal page, and I post everything on the Planet X News Facebook page. So all of the links are right in the description box underneath all of the videos. And again, let me get you a link here for Blue Kool-Aid, and I'll go ahead. I'll put it in the description, or not the description box, the um, live chat. You know, you guys go over there, subscribe to his YouTube channel. Um, Give me a second here. Here's a direct link for his channel. And, you guys check him out. And I see my man Jeff P's in the live chat with us. And listen, talking about Jeff P, you guys better make sure that that you are subscribed to Jeff's channel. This man comes up with some spectacular information, and Jeff's observations in relation to the sun simulator have been, well, I'd have to say the best on this planet. He's come up with a lot of fantastic observational evidence. And, folks, do me a favor. Whenever you see these retards in the comment sections under our videos and you see them leaving nasty, derogatory comments, hey, if you want to blow off some steam, let these people have it, because these people are nothing more than a joke. Okay. I can't read all of the comments. I can't censor and filter all of these comments. I really don't delete comments from my YouTube channel videos, because if somebody wants to go on there and they want to speak their piece, whatever. If you get pretty nasty and pretty crude, eventually your comment will disappear and you will be banned from the comment section of any of my videos or Dr. Albers' videos. But make sure that you are subscribed to Wayne Steiger's channel, Planet X News, Dr. Claudia Albers' channel, and most definitely Jeff P. Take the opportunity today, get over there to Blue Kool-Aid's channel, check him out. The man's coming up with some really, really good information. He's explaining things in detail, and show him your support. Show Jeff your support. That's all I have for all of you guys today. And remember, Friday night, we're going to be doing a live stream. Myself, Jeff P., Dr. Claudia Albers, and R. Wayne Steiger. We will be guests on his YouTube channel Friday night, 9 p.m., and that is Eastern time. And we're going to go over a lot of information, because Wayne has come up with some really, really crazy anomalies that have to do with compass readings, and it's a little scary. So hold on to your seats, and we will see all of you Friday night on the R. Wayne Steiger YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for being with me this morning. Stay safe out there. And like I always say, man, knowledge is power. Keep an eye in the sky. Take care, folks.